What's up, it's Marco back on the Stage Soccer channel. Today I just want to have a bit of an open discussion on what the striker situation is for the national team right now. I feel like at the moment the striker is like a bit of the weak spot of the team. We had some really good wings in Pulisic and Reina. Aronson Way has some good depth. The midfield is very strong with McKinney and Adams. Fullback is great. Center back is looking really good. Goalkeeper, we might talk about that a bit later, but I feel like striker, at least for outfield positions, is probably the weakest spot at the moment. And that is pretty concerning because, like, if you look at the Ballon d'Or, it's an attacker who wins it 90% of the time. And not having somebody who can really put the ball in the back of the net, that would be a huge concern. But I feel like we still have those players who can do that. Just, we need to have the right position, like, put them in the right position, have the right system behind them, and just give those guys the chance, you know? And man, I mean, let's get into the first guy, Josh Sargent. So Sargent is a striker who's very interesting because he's not like your typical striker. He's someone who has a very good pressing ability, a great work rate. He will get back into the play, help out defensively, but he's not too much of an attacking threat. His finishing can be a bit suspect. He's not a huge aerial presence. He's kind of like a bit raw of an attacker. He still has a lot of developing to do, but you can see all the good traits in him. I feel like he'd be a very good striker for a team like Brazil, who would have like a Neymar cutting in. Yeah, everybody would look good with Neymar, but just for the example, like having a team with like real goal-scoring wingers who can like really threaten to do that, allow him to press, have him drop in, and just do really well for the team. But I'm not too sure if we have that luxury at the moment. Christian Pulisic, he can score at a very high level, but he's not somebody who you really want to be your number one goal scorer. Giovanni Reina, again, very good player, but you don't want to put that pressure on him. Allow him to create, because if you just have him be a goal scorer alone, that could be very dangerous. But I feel like he's probably better as just more of a true inside forward and having a real number 9 in front of you. So Josh Sargent, you can see like his talent. I don't feel like the problem is him as a player. It's just he doesn't really fit into the system, you know? It's not you, it's me. But anyway, then we got Daryl Dike. Dike is very interesting because I feel like he's a lot better of a finisher. I feel like he's the best finisher we have in the system. He's got a great aerial presence. His hold-up play, man, I feel like that's really developing. You see the potential there for him to just get on the ball and just dominate. If you've been watching Belgium this Euro, Lukaku's been insane, and he's somebody who's a bit of a comparison. Peter Crouch, which, I mean, that's a bit far out there, but he's someone who I want to talk about because, he has a podcast where he just talks about how when you're playing internationally, like, there are a lot of defenders who just don't know how to deal with just that huge physical threat. And if DK can really be that for us, that could be huge. The problem with him, he's still a bit of a raw player. I feel like he'd struggle in situations where you get around the defense. You've got Serginho Dest, Tyler Adams, Wes McKinney, maybe like a Brandon Aronson. They're all playing like triangles around the team. I feel like maybe he's not going to be the guy who can do that, but if you can have him in the box, have him be that aerial threat that we need, have him be a great finisher, that could be huge for us. Because we have that striker who just score goals, that's so much pressure off the team, and if he's occupying the defense, that gives Pulisic space to run in behind. It could allow McKinney to make some runs, Robinson and Dest making runs from fullback. You have to occupy DK at all times to get his abilities. I feel like he's somebody who could be really good for us. Next, you got Jordan Siebatcheu, and man, he's came off from being that hero in the Honduras game, and he's a very good player. He's got some good physical attributes. He can finish. I feel like he's probably our most complete striker at the moment. Like, he can score. He's got good hold-up play. He's the really solid number 9 that you'd want in the team at all times. But despite that, I feel like he has a bit of a lower ceiling than a lot of the other players. Like, if Josh Sargent can really develop attacking, if Daryl Dike just gets striker down completely, I feel like they're better than him. But Jordan Siebatcheu has, like, I feel like low ceiling, low floor player. You know what I'm talking about? Like he's going to be he's not going to lose us a game, and he has the ability to win us a game, but I don't feel like that ability to win us the game is as high as the other two if they hit their full potential. But I hope I'm making sense right now, but Jordan Siebatcheu, PFOC, I mean, if he wants to go by that, I'm not too sure right now, so I'm just calling him Siebatcheu. But, yeah, he's a very good player for the team. I'm glad that we got him in. I'm feel like he could be huge for us in World Cup qualifying, because having that guy who you know is going to be reliable, like how many games we have, it's either going to be 14 or 7, I'm not sure. 14 seems like a lot, so it's probably going to be 7. If we have that during Siebatcheu, I feel like if we played him every game, he'd get us at least 3 or 4 goals. So yeah, I'm really glad we have Jordan Siebatcheu in the setup. Next, you got Matthew Hoppe. So he's got a guy who hasn't had moments of brilliance, but he just hasn't shown consistency at the moment, which is fine for a player at his age, but we're talking about the U.S. men's national team situation, not the one of the U18 squads. So Hoppe, I mean, man, we've seen what he can do in the Bundesliga. He had some great moments, but yeah, he's also had a lot of games where he's just the passenger. And for us, if I'm going to knock on wood right now, but if Tyler Adams gets hurt, we're going to be losing in the midfield in a lot of these games. And that's very possible. So if Hoppe's a guy who's not going to be really pushing himself to get involved in the games yet, I feel like he's somebody who isn't too reliable in World Cup qualifying at the moment. But we still have the Gold Cup to see how much he's developed, and then he's going to be getting better as the year goes on. He's had his first real season. He's only going to keep playing and keep developing. And if he gets a lot of playing time in Bundesliga 2, or he moves on to a bigger club and he can loan out or just play with a very strong first team, I feel like Matthew Hoppe, he's going to get better and better and better as time goes on. But I don't think he's at that moment yet. And I don't feel like he should be in the squad for World Cup qualifying until he shows that improvement that I'm sure will come. Next, I want to talk about Cade Cowell, and this is a guy who's got some great physical attributes. He's had some great technical moments as well, but he is still developing. Similar to Hoppe, he's just somebody who he just needs more game time, get more experience with the men's game, and make sure you can really know what he's doing at all times. Because he's a great player, some great physical attributes, but again, still got to develop, still got to really find himself as a player and really cement his role and just develop more as a finisher, because he's had some good moments, but only 3 goals so far this year, and I think 2 were in the first game. So yeah, Cade Cowell, great player for the future, but again, not yet. Ricardo Pepi is in a similar situation. Great player for the future. I really liked it. He's got some really smart runs in him. Great off-ball movement. I still want to see him develop a bit more before he gets thrust into the national team. But man, if he has a really good MLS season to finish off the year, that honestly could happen, because he's been proving himself to be a very good player, and honestly, I could see him in the team pretty soon. Next guy I want to mention is Nicola Gioacchini. I feel like he's got some good traits and good attributes, but I'm not too sure how far that is. Right now, he's in Ligue 2 in France. I was about to call it Paris for a second. I think he's from FC Paris originally. Now he's at Caen. But he's got some good traits, but he's still playing at a pretty low level, and I really want to see him develop a bit more, because he's not putting in too many goals in France, and I don't really see him as that great of a player. I feel like he won't be able to surpass a Siebatcheu. He won't be able to finish as good as a Ricardo Pepi. He doesn't have the physical tools of a Cowell or Dike. And yeah, honestly, his future might lie out wide. He's been playing there a lot for his club. I feel like he's going to be playing there for the Gold Cup, and I feel like he's someone who really, unless something changes, probably isn't going to be reliable as a striker for the U.S. men's national team. Next, I got young guys I want to talk about. Sebastian Soto, Jesús Ferreira. You could add a Haji Wright, Mason Toy to that list. Just some young strikers who I don't feel like are ready for the national team. Ferreira had some good moments, but I feel like in the Olympics we really saw his limitations. He might even be better as more of a 10 position, where he's been playing a bit for FC Dallas. So I really don't want to see him as the 9 right now. Sebastian Soto, I feel like he's going to be loaned out this year. So him developing a bit more, that's good. But again, not ready for the team. And Toy, probably not ready yet. Haji Wright, not ready yet. And then we got some MLS guys. Gyasi Zardes, he's somebody who can score, but I feel like he's kind of unreliable. You put him up top, and you don't really know what's going to happen. He could pop up some 2 goals. He was just the striker on an MLS Cup winning team. He can do that, but at the same time, he can trip over his own feet on a one-on-one chance. I mean, he's somebody who I don't feel like is reliable. But at the same time, you know what you're getting with him. we know he's consistently inconsistent. Like, if we start him in the World Cup qualifying, again, like George Siebatcheu, probably going to get you 3 or 4 goals. Those, you're going to have varying levels of performance, but you know what he's going to give you. And honestly, that might be something that we take over Josh Sargent, probably not scoring too much. If Daryl Dike really doesn't show himself to be a great striker this Gold Cup, we've got Zardes to fall back on. And it's... like, I'm trying to say, like, I'm comfortable with him, even though I know his deficiencies. But at the same time, we should upgrade on him if we have the chance to. I feel like that's what I'm trying to say with Zardes. Then other MLS guys, Josie Altidore, I feel like we're past him, but he was named to the preliminary squad, so I want to mention him. Rubio Rubin, Jeremy Albuese, I feel like probably not in the squad, and unless they go on a really good MLS run, like picking up 10 goals in 15 games or something like that, I really don't want to see them in the national team. And I want to mention Tim Weah and Jordan Morris. They're 2 guys who I feel like are more comfortable out wide, but 2 guys who could be good players. I mean, Tim Weah, he's got some great physical tools, and I feel like he's got a good finish on him. Pretty good player as well, so he's somebody, if we need to start him up top, I feel like it would come out of necessity, like just in a game, like something happens to DK or Sargent, you stick Weah up top. I feel like that could work, you know, but at the moment, I feel like he's more comfortable out wide, so he's probably going to stay out there. Jordan Morris, another guy, probably more comfortable out wide. Doesn't matter right now due to his injury. But once he recovers, if he gets back to his full strength, he's probably more comfortable out wide. But he has come up with some pretty good goals for us in the past, and I feel like he could give Siebatcheu and Zardes like that push that they need for the guy who's like the reliable, low ceiling player, you know. Anyway, that's how I feel about the strikers right now. I probably rate DK the highest, Josh Sargent close after, Siebatcheu and Zardes come after that, then Matthew Hoppe, Cade Cowell, Ricardo Pepi, they're all knocking on the door. Jesús Ferreira, Sebastian Soto, Haji Wright, I want to see more from them, and Nicola Gioacchini, Tim Weah, Jordan Morris, they're probably not even strikers at the moment. So yeah, that's how I feel about the situation with the strikers. Probably not the strongest position right now, but given time, like, it could get really strong, and man, I feel like it could be really good for us in the future. That's all I'll talk about today. See ya.